Okay.
That was difficult.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Call to order 7:03. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight and taking some time out of your evening, whether you're in person or online. We're really happy to have you here. We will start with names, positions, and pronouns. The question of the day is brought to you by Senator Cole. It is, actually, do you want to explain? I think you explained it better than I did.
So how many pigeons would it take until you were like finding one a day in your apartment or house that you're someone is planning for a function, someone is putting pigeons here, they're not just flying it. How many would you have to find before you're someone is
Okay, I'll start and we'll go this way. Thank you. My name's Sleek. Oh, Withers.
all these pigeons in your house on the same day? Or does it have to be
one per day. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Living room, for your kitchen, it's just in there. I don't want for you to
Okay. Thank you, Senator.
How many?
No, it's how many pigeons?
Because I would be after 6 days.
For me, I would say after 2. I think 1 might be, I left the window open the second day. I know I closed it. So, and my name's Talik Lopez-Duboff. Sorry. Talik Lopez-Duboff, ASUO Senate President, and member of the Department's Finance Committee. And I think 2 pigeons. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kikachia Paku, and I am the ASUO Vice President. I use she, her pronouns. So it's 1 pigeon a day, or how many pigeons?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe every day, you might go a few days, no pigeon.
Just how many?
But how many until you were this isn't something's happening?
I'm gonna go for 5 or 6 pigeons. I think at that point, 1 or 2, they can just wander. Yeah.
All right.
Ayuki, my name is Maricel Peters. I'm Senate seat 2 PFC. And, I've talked about it a lot. So I'm going to second what Kiki said, 5 pigeons. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Anthony Lopez, Senate seat 3 our PFC. I feel at least 7. I'm thinking about if they don't come day to day, I'm just oh, where's the vision? I'm sorry. So I say that's 7 good number. I was gonna say 5, but like I said, no.
My name is I would say 7 pigeons.
Daniel Ian Brennan, Tennessee 5 CFC. There's never been a pigeon that's gone through my house or gone to my room, so right now there's an idea of meaning that I don't think of.
My name is Eleanor Palmer, I'm UFC Senate seat 6 and Senate Ombudsperson. We would probably 4 pigeons.
Jordan Ackman, Senate seat 7, CFC and CFC chairman. I would probably say 2 pigeons until, 3 pigeons until I think someone's doing it purposefully. 1 pigeon, I'd be very suspicious. So.
Hello, my name is Victoria Piero. I'm she, her pronouns. I'm Senate seat 9, Department's Finance Committee. But I would go with 3. I think by the 3rd day I'd be 4 other pigeons.
Now you share pronouns at Senate seat 10, DFC and Senate Treasurer. And it would take a while, a couple. I think my roommate being on pigeons is kind of a normal thing. I think it's not that she's having pigeons home, but I would just think she wants to have pigeons that day or that week or that month. So it took a while, actually. My name is Jason Fisher. I'm Senate seat 11, academic senator. Honestly, fun because I live in an apartment and windows can only open this much. There's space that I cannot reserve. So there's absolutely no way that a pigeon should be able to get in there. She performs economics and transport. She was hired to serve as optimal. Also. 13. So one and done, I think.
Hey everyone, my name is Subbu Nagarajan, in the C14, he, him pronouns. I think the pigeon, like I can't imagine having like, I think, I said 5 and 6, like that's crazy. Would be very suspicious, I think, on pigeon.
Hi, my name is Dr. Beck, she, her pronouns, Senate seat 16 and academic chair. I had the same reaction as Priscilla, I would just assume that it was one of my roommates doing something weird during the class to our home. So I would probably say around 5 or 6.
Oh.
Was I called?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Hello, my name is Joanne Wu. I'm Senator 15, go by she, her pronouns. And I think my answer to this question might be like 6 or 7. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit of a excuse me, I'm a little bit excuse me, I'm a little sick at the moment. But I think I'm a little bit like what's the not ditzy, but I would be like, oh, there's a pigeon, and then the next day be like, oh, there's another pigeon, and then I would just be confused until I'm like, okay, 6 or 7, like something is a little suspicious here. It'd take me a little bit for sure.
Hi folks, my name is Liz. I'm 15. So I'm like consumer finance. I would say with to a different. Stop that, but like so careful. I'm like so busy that someone doing something. So I think that you're what you sort of might know to people who's doing this. So yes, please.
Everyone, see that this is underrepresented, and I'm one of the most oblivious people know when it comes to something, so. Take notice at first place. I think something like that's my friend, I'm noticing.
Everyone, thank you for entertaining my question. I'm Emily Cole, I'm Senate seat 23. Oh, and I skipped Charm. Sorry. I've been thinking about this for years. And the conclusion that it would only take like 2 pigeons to be like actually starting to like figure out who is doing it. Like one, I would like the wheels would turn, and then 2, I would be like close to figuring out who's putting the pigeons in my apartment. But if I had more roommates, it probably would have been 8.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ducharme, he, him pronouns, Senate seat 22, representing graduate students in the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Design. And I would say 2 pigeons. Been quite surprised, honestly, with some of these answers.
Pigeons are actually one of my dream pets. So I don't ever think I would get it right. I think that they would genuinely be like, oh my gosh, a gift. Like it's so nice. So
I mean, but if you maybe for people that be like, okay, so the students really wanting me to own pigeons. It's the same until day. And release it all.
I gotta tell you, there's kids in my house one day that can. But I think it's the most fun question we've had all year, so I appreciate it. Okay, well, great. We will now move into the. So,
The University of Oregon is located on California and Haiti, which shows the business company and other global. When the students between 1859 and 1853, California was possessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly moved to the coast reservation in Western Oregon. Today, the California descendants are primarily citizens of the competitive trade of the federal government and the competitive trade of slaves of Haiti. Continue to make important contributions to their communities, to the United to the lands and and to the company indigenous for developing the knowledge and professional people of the land of people. Businesses and interests to the many privately organized indigenous nations of working. It was publisher, the competitive transfer of ideas. The competitive transfer of ideas. Competitive transfer of ideas. We express ourselves and Indian nation and Shoshone tribes. It's also indigenous.
I move to approve the agenda.
Thanks, Fisher.
made by Dylan, seconded Fisher on face. Opposed? Great. Okay, we have anything here for that. Sam, Sophie.
Hello, everybody. Awesome. Okay, I'm Sam. I'm the chapter chair of Oxford. And this is Ian. Nice to see you. It works for me today. But yeah. So my house shirt and shirts. So I moved forward with we had kickoff last week, so that's why I was at Senate. And we got 91 people there, which it's a lot of hard work from students and shows that a lot of new students really care about the issues we're working on and want to see a change. Another thing we did is we got the final count in for our NDP University of Coastal State. It's really, really cool. Okay. So this is a huge problem in the American society. American students with $1.7 trillion in student debt. And we used to think that a college degree should be affordable. But it takes steps to move that. One thing in particular is the Biden administration has no canceled student loan debt for over 1 million public workers, which is really, really cool. And that's something we've been working on since 2006 when we released a report said that students had a negative impact on public service career opportunities. So teachers, social work, and that kind of stuff was negatively impacted by student loans. So our program stopped in 2007, and since then we've been urging the White House every year to take a strong stance and make higher education more affordable. So yeah, This is Ian, he's lives in your state. And he's gonna talk a little bit about our issues campaign. So, everybody, you call me a state rep, I'm not a state rep. I mean, like he said, it's the motions advocate with. Also, organization to students. Or in our organizations for I helped dedicate my time to civic programs that reach tens of thousands of citizens across multiple states, thousands of local meetings with elected officials, state and federal level, educated students, and the general public just generally on ocean conservation issues and help policy to improve Oregon's most successful ocean conservation program, just the research program. Ocean conservation issues in Oregon are related to sea otters, which is Osprey Student Campaign, place-based conservation, salmon and orca recovery, and much more. I also work to build access with elected officials and expand and deepen relationships with the public to bolster organizational visibility and organizational capacity. Right now, my primary focus as my campaigns is to bring sea otters back to Oregon's coast, which is a federal process. And since that's for students spoken to make the Sea Otters campaign their lead campaign in Oregon this year, I spent a lot of time kind of working with them to leverage the youth voice to advance our campaign. So I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more in front of you all today on what I'm hoping to accomplish. So, like I mentioned, this is a federal process through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and if we're going to convince them to move forward and bring sea otters back to Oregon's coast, we need to demonstrate the support across the state. And generally, we need to tip the scales in favor of sea otter reintroduction by building a lot of public support. And in order to build that, we really just need to make sure that the students and whoever really know it's been the scales here. So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is currently being run by conservationists like Deputy Director Mark Williams. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is also under the Interior, who's being run, or which is right now being run by Secretary Deb Haaland. So with conservationists, it's just we have an opportunity to really build support within Oregon for sea otter introduction. And in 2022, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service basically came into a feasibility study which found that we multiple substantial ecological benefits to the nearshore marine ecosystem for marine production of sea otters to the historic range in Northern California and Oregon. Similar families from our coalition partners, the electrolytes, and our goal this is to continue to build support in the state so that Oregonians, including students like yourselves at the University of Oregon and elsewhere, make to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that they want to see sea otters back in water. Based on this feasibility study, they can come forward with a proposal for reintroduction, and if we show support that Oregonians want this, we can really expedite the process. So, one thing generally on this is that in 2023, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service chose not to delist some sea otters, which cover Endangered Species Act protections. And basically, with this decision, they made it clear that they're taking a conservation-minded approach to these animals, and they want to see Oregon's ocean better off with them here. So with this in mind, if we demonstrate enough support from Oregonians, we can influence them to move forward with the proposal and engagement process, which we care about the introduction first. Student groups in the state primarily to protect coastal ecosystems, and it is more related to the impacts of climate change. So we just think with this in mind, with everything the context, we can really make a change and build sort of a youth oceans movement. At Flagship University in Oregon for getting sea otters back in the water. And if we're successful, I realized I didn't really say this in front, but sea otters would help ensure that our kelp forests are far more abundant. Because right now there's basically not enough sea otters and overabundance of purple sea urchins, which love to eat kelp forests, and
see our favorite food or color. So we bring it back, we'd have a lot less urchins wanting to come. And that's really important because governments are a resource to combat climate change, and evidence suggests that it's more than rainforest per acre. So if we're going to address climate change, Kelp Forest really just have to be part of the discussion, and CIOs should be part of the conversation too. So it's really just all I have to say here, just kind of one statement about what we're kind of doing. I wanted to say I can send my contact information if anyone wants it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Sam. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. With regards to the pigeon question, my name is Dr. Sam Schwartz. A year ago, I was a grad student here. And I'm here because we are separated from twin crises here in Oregon. Crisis number one is that tuition for far too many students is unpalatable. Crisis number two, which is related to crisis number one, is that compensation for far too many employees is not competitive, in some cases even unlivable. And so when you graduate with a PhD in computer science, you typically have two career options. You can either go and become a professor or you can become a research like a Google or a tech. And I chose to remain in my technical support with option number three, which is to try to spend a year resolving these twin crises. One of the things that I'm most proud of as a graduate student is that I was able to work with the legislature to pass legislation with a grad student on the board of trustees. And so I was able to see, up close and personal what this looks like here in Oregon to go through the real political process, have words directly submitted to law by the governor. It's complicated, it's messy, and with the dissolving of the Oregon Students Association that happened just a week or two, it is more important now than ever that we have a unified voice at the Capitol. So what I've been doing for the last couple of months has been working with a team of talented undergraduates, primarily in the computer science department, to see if we can, somehow come up with a stable funding mechanism for these challenges. Because there is one thing that is true no matter what politics, and that is you need to have a stable funding source or some amount of money or make change happen. There are the twin crises, but there are also many challenges at universities. One of the challenges that we have at universities is the perception that the degree is not worth the cost. And so I did a review of the curricula to say, if we put undergraduate students through thing X and we make undergraduates do thing X, what is the thing that if they do thing X, they are much more likely to, have successful career outcomes at the end of it? And the answer to that question, as I found, is that undergraduate students who are involved in creating or maintaining a complex organization, either through student government or more what I was interested in, startups, solve their problem, are more likely to be successful. So putting this all together, I wanted to pilot with a group of talented undergraduates, building a startup, a tech startup in particular. And we're going to see if we can donate every single red cent of profit that we earn into things like student scholarships, faculty grants, but also political advocacy to try to make sure that we are no longer 44th or 45th in the nation when it comes to our legislature's investment in us. I would like to see us closer to the median, at least stay 25th, if not higher. So our tech step is pretty simple. It is it's not too cognitively complex. We're called DEPI because we look out for the small fry. And we did a pure on financial management for organizations. It will allow organizations to do things like if you're involved in an organization, selling a t-shirt or things for an event, if you have a due structure, you want to manage member dues, donations or do a crowd, anything kind of along those lines. We want to be your one-stop shop for that. And every red cent profit that we might make from that, we're going to once again reinvest. So I have a flyer. It takes a lot to put a a tech product together. We're working with faculty from the law school to make sure we're all on board. The same thing with the business school. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we have customers, and we want to make sure that we are listening to you, the students, first and foremost, to make sure that So I've got a flyer here. I've got a QR code. I'd love to pass this around and get your emails if you're interested, either in joining WP as like there, but also if you're interested in using our platform, making sure that you're when we're ready to launch, you're aware of it. That So I want to pause and ask if there are any questions. Can I see thumbs up? Questions, concerns? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for all your hard work, because I have been in enough of these types of meetings before. It's tough to be a student senator. There is a lot of disagreement, and it's also extremely valuable. So thank you so much for your service. I give you a round of applause.
Okay, hey guys, I'm here to give you an update for your student agreement. We essentially have 9 bargaining sessions. I just section that's from the benefits. It's 8:30 p.m. in the EM. And the training session will start till 5 p.m. at the Cradle Room. And then we started catching up on school. These past few sessions have been really exciting. Or just one hours proposals that were often thousands of student groups. So that's kind of really exciting. But the thing of this session is to sense university and that's with the students to class on the not maybe to contribute jobs. So and this is geared towards the for relations. That's been sessions are closed. So if you want to we should definitely hope that's next today. So ask about the listeners and be nice to kind of what's going on. So if there's any questions, basically what you can help get at least to your decision. So thank you. Anybody else for them?
Yeah, okay, come on. I'm going to form a working group. I assume meetings, to call for a winter special election. We did this last year. So I'm moved to form. If you want to join, let me know. I move to form a working group, the resolution calling for a winter special. Motion made by Lucas, who seconded Moreno. Lopez. Aye. Fisher.
Aye.
Withers.
Aye.
Hairston.
Aye.
Nagaraj. Aye.
Aye.
Husband. Scrub.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Aye.
Ducharme.
Aye.
Cole. Carrie. Nice. Great. Thanks, everybody. Okay. There's now for announcements. We'll go to the forum. Do we have any? Okay, we will move into financial business. Surplus is currently standing at $1,140,680. Unallocated reserves of $26,000. We can move into our first unallocated reserve requests. Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry. We'll start this confirmation for financial business. Bella and I had the privilege of interviewing the candidates for Senate Seat 17 earlier this week.
And one candidate stood out to us, and we are super excited to have tonight. So Francesca, you can come up to the microphone. This is a brief reminder for you all. Francesca will introduce herself, and you guys have the opportunity to ask her questions. You guys should have gotten her resume, right? And so you just want to introduce yourself.
Well, hi, good evening. I'm very grateful to be here. Just to introduce myself, I'm Francesca. I'm a multi-interdisciplinary science major with an art minor. It's also the third year here. So it's very grateful to be here and to get to like work with all you guys. Yeah.
Great, thanks for being here. Does anybody have any questions for Francesca? Oscar.
Honestly, so that's it's going on Zoom. So we see that's the study by the school days. What the disciplines because it's kind of you're to the next senator.
Well, first off, I was very interested in the connections that this community has. I'm interested in encouraging collaboration and advocacy with the culture of campus. I think that's very important. Second of all, my goals in this position would be to create initiatives that promote equity and healthcare, especially for those who are underrepresented in that section. Yeah, and I've had experiences as a whistler in my high school, which is a lead figure for freshmen and guiding in their new spaces. And I've had experiences also in fast food, which helps me understand what the meaning of teamwork is. And I think just like my personal values align with all of the commission's values and our community has, which is self-advocacy and collaborating with each other, and further building on the foundation of our institution.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Hi, thank you for coming here tonight. I just had a question. I was wondering if you have any goals for this year, if you were to serve on ASUO, or if you have any plans or initiatives that you're really interested in.
Yeah. Well, I talked about this a bit in my interview, and I'm very interested in promoting equity healthcare. I think my first goal would be to try to create a foundation or some kind of so like promote so sorry to like create an initiative that like hands out some kind of help to the underrepresented communities and communities that are impoverished, just like the things which I talked about in my interview as well. So
Sure.
Very nice to meet you. I'm just wondering like what your capacity is like. Like, are you involved in any other like student orgs or clubs?
yeah. So I'm involved in the ASUO Club, which is the Human Society here. I'm also involved in the peer leader group in the Health Senate. So I just tried that. So yeah.
Thank you.
President Amira Spinetta.
Hey Francesca, Dan, say I got 2 questions for you. The second one's not that bad. The first one, I was just say, you joining and everything, is there anything that you'd like to see from all of us to help you like better fit in, or just get up to speed at that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think firstly for me, is just to understand how this like things are, just because I think like it's already a very complicated process and it seems very like I'm diving on the deep end of it. So I'm just like feel like understanding the community and how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever need anything, you can ask any one of us, we're more than happy to help you or anything. And my second question, I see that you work at Chick-fil-A. What's meal?
A grilled chicken sandwich now. No tomatoes, no pickles. I don't like pickles, sorry. Mashed cheese and peppers. I don't love
Once Chick-fil-A opens up, it's game over. Okay, we're near Burnett.
Sorry, that like totally my train of thought. My question was a little like, for academic, like senator wise, is there something like in your specific like major department that you would want to like see be improved? Kind of like resource you want to sort of like ensure it's being like sent out to their students, or like maybe what's up like your region that you'd want to see.
Well, so as multidisciplinary science major, I just want to pre-med. So I feel like seeing more initiatives that are tended towards pre-med students just because it's a very difficult process. So like elements like, you know, maybe an MCAT study session, maybe sessions just like where all the pre-med students come and talk and exchange information and how they're going with, you know, the whole process.
Okay, well, that concludes our open discussion. Yeah, folks, usually like, it's always like a weird, but like, usually they'll like leave and we'll do our discussion. Then we'll probably- Thanks for this.
I think that she's great and is like an outstanding candidate for Senate. Her experience in like peer mentorship like really struck me as essential because, you know, just being able to like being a student who also like mentors like students is like something that, you know, we all should be able to like do. But the fact that she's like done that like, you know, like professionally, I think is really striking.
This is a question for Aztec, Mr. President. What set Francesca apart from the other candidates?
I can start. When she came to her interview, like people are always like nervous when they come to the interviews, and I certainly am. But something that stood out was like, you could sort of tell that she was nervous, but she was also like really calm. She like she was kind of cool under the pressure, like not like we gave some of the questions in advance, but some of the questions that we didn't give in advance, she answered really, really well. And so I think being able to have that kind of thing on live is really cool. But it was really impressive. And yeah, I think that's what stood out to me. There was certainly
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. It's like her attitude throughout the whole interview. Like I know I don't interview super well, but just like how she take questions just like on the time. And then she was like the only ones that like at the end of the interview like had questions for us that she had like actually thought about. That stood out to me. Didn't really have any questions. Like they're really the interview.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one of the questions I remember asking is, what do you expect from somebody in this role? I think having sort of what we talked about earlier, Shane, right, was like setting expectations and knowing what you're going into, and that was really, really.
Yeah, I'm just going what she said. One of our goals actually in the academic committee this year is really connecting with like the tags in our respective like, disciplines, and I think having that like peer advisor experience will
really help with making those connections and building those relationships. And I think that ties in perfectly with people she didn't obviously know about. So.
Other than the multi-part comment that was last week, like to, real collected about the whole process. Anyone out there is nervous, things like that, but they're doing that free that. Bless their heart, but. I grew up candidate for like more poverty, especially for academic. Anybody in there? Okay, all right.
I'm not saying there's any other questions or comments. I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion. I move to approve Francesca and presidential last name. To succeed 17.
Second.
Lopez.
Aye.
Oh.
Aye.
Morano.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye. Aye.
Ramirez Pineda.
Aye.
Nakarajan.
Aye.
Wu.
Aye.
Espen.
Aye.
Skura.
Aye.
Aye.
Ducharme.
Aye.
Oh. Yeah. Next thing I expect. Hey, Gregory.
Oh, I get to be honored?
Oh. Okay. Clap.
Come on over.
Thanks, Meredith, everybody. Let's get the financials. Certainly say $1,104,680, and unallocated reserve $26,093. First unallocated reserve question, do we have anyone today here from medicine administration? Going once.
I was gonna table it. I moved to table the unallocated reserve request from medicine ministry OS number 248. Second.
Seconded, Whitners, all in favor. Okay. Great. Anyone for women in computer science? Okay, great. Before they start presenting, I move to hear the unallocated reserve request from women in computer science. Motion made by Lopez Duboff, seconded Esbeck, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Other? Great, okay, you guys, you can take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Mia, and I'm the treasurer for Women in Computer Science. My name is Lily. I'm the vice president of WIX. All right. So Women in Computer Science, or WIX, is focused on creating a community within the tech field, especially for underrepresented groups. Fields like computer science that are male-dominated can have an isolating culture, especially for those who are not men, and WIX just aims to combat this by bring people together in a low-stakes environment to meet people in their classes, build career skills, and overall create a space where people can feel supported. So we're requesting this money because we have events every Friday throughout the term. And because we're just getting started with ASUO, I'm trying to set up a fund for our club just to be able to utilize throughout the term at all of our events. We've been focusing a lot on advertising and growing the club, and we've increased from around 10 to consistent numbers to like around 25 to 30. So we would like to continue to provide food for all of our members at our events, and we'll sometimes have craft nights, so the money would also go towards that. And we're just working on continuing to advertise, so the money would be spent on advertising materials like stickers and purchasing a permanent display link to continue advertising.
Great, thanks. I'll have the floor for questions.
I'm just looking like how many like active members does Wix have? Estimate, but I would say probably 25 to 30 people right now. Last year, we had 10 to 12 towards the end of the year, so like almost 2%. That's awesome. Yeah. This question. I was looking at their like materials. I know you guys touched on it also being used for potential advertisement. Does it need the advertisement like separate on that or is it, like could they use that for like advertisement? I just wanted to so advertisement you do it to the administrative under. I don't have the thing pulled up right now, but it's just sex and events. I might consider it moving it to advertising, like making its own advertising line item and then moving that to administration, but it's also already approved it. And I think, and it's part of that line item.
If it turns out to be an issue, you can just do internal transfer requests.
Is there any other, I was just gonna go to move that. I move to authorize spending of unallocated reserve to women in computer science, OS for OS 362, the amount of $650 in one item, snack and event materials.
Okay. Great. How about you guys? Okay, next, women in psych. I move to hear the unallocated reserve request from women in psychology.
Second, Dylan.
Motion made by Lopez Duval, second Dylan, all in favor. Opposed? Great, take it away, guys.
No, I'm Ashley Benson. I'm the treasurer on women's psychology. I'm the president of our administration here. Actually. Sorry. So we do not have a budget for the year. We focus on creating community for support, collaboration, resources, and a place to build a valuable network of connections. We plan to internships in Vermont grad school, general health, some interns. We plan to do a few mental health units, ask alumni, people in the general field of psychology for advice. And we plan to do an event per term and 2 meetings with our exec board, which we meet with actually. Oh, we want to accommodate general meeting supplies, event spots, just food and drink, and money for advertising such as flyers, stickers, merch, and snacks and candy, and a tablecloth for tabling purposes.
Awesome, great. So moving first. Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much for coming. Was this like the team that was having for this house that into group?
Yes, the whole year. Something presented by guys. Thank you.
So for academic accessibility, I think they come up with a number that we will discuss with everyone after financial business. So tonight, we want to reserve funds to not be over a certain amount. And I believe Victoria has the notes for what that amount was, but I think this is one. So.
Sorry.
To include silver guidelines to also it. And so I don't think but it's progress, so it's no, but
one some suggestion that we're going to
my opinion, that it's a surplus. I
Election, do you want to say something?
I was just wondering how many people participate in this.
So our first meeting, our first event last year, we had about 12. And then we, that moved, and yesterday we had another event and about 40 to 50. Because we're thinking about how many people. But I just feel like it's a lot of people don't have a work through. Just the Instagram, we're really put the emphasis on like for women in psychology, but we're open to anyone with psychology interest. And there was a lot around like advertisement and lower cost students, so we're thinking about even maybe splitting those meetings up if we want to do grad school workshops. And so I'd say a good estimate is between 40 to 50. Hi guys. I'm going to I think what but I was just talking about budget. Think for that so like the is in record now I'm here with me with phones and such. I'm not the 7,000 growing like now we're zero so like I just it's good to have service club and concert like and with common sense. So we I was just taking those. Had juniors at the time, and then we got all back and then spring term got officially recognized by ASUO. And what you said last year, yes, spring term. So just applying for the new budget considered. Okay, correct. And so our executive groups, all seniors, and we're kind of looking at this works and hoping to pass it to younger classmen to like get this thing going because we created the club because we were like there's nothing really so I would say yeah. Was there a specific date? I just want to clarify here. So I actually do have a question again for y'all just because I might be I don't know this, but if they don't have a budget, can they take from surplus? If they okay, so it's just like if they don't have a budget yet, they only can have access to unallocated.
We added. Yes.
Okay, that's right, sorry, first, thank you, so, yeah, then I'll second that idea. It's own.
For being here, congrats on your nice turnout, that's super awesome. I was going to Withers and Grosse Point, saying that I would like to see this come up unallocated reserve, just because I like the way that they split everything up between general meetings, events, and advertisement, and it's 1,200. It seems like a good amount to come back to unallocated reserve and jumpstart this really awesome club that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I'm not hell, I'm cool.
I very much like you guys. Thank you very much, you guys. You guys have done everything. I think this is a very small amount of money for you to COVID. So I'm going to go ahead and move to spending from the reserve to women in psychology. Office number 369, and then the 260 to new line item general meetings, 510 to new line item events, and 330 to new line item advertisements. And for a total of $12.
Second move.
You said unallocated.
But then whether it's, did you say surplus? I mean, I suggested surplus.
Okay. Mohammed. Love. Potter.
Aye.
Nero.
Aye.
Morena.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Withers.
Aye.
Ramirez Pineda.
Aye.
Nagarajan. Aye. Esmith. Oh, I'm sorry, Blue.
Aye.
Esmith. Dylan.
Aye.
Aye.
Dushar.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Derek.
Aye.
I say aye, so Congratulations.
Really appreciate it.
Let's do it. Soccer.
My name's Rena, I'm here with Falcon, the treasurer. And for those of you that don't know, Vivaldi, the Festival of Blends is coming up. I think the official date's November 1st. And it's a huge deal all across South Asia. And so Congress holds an annual event. This year's number 9. We have music performances. We also have this year cultural crafts. And I'm here just requesting to move around some money because the cost of it, and obviously we can't have everybody food. That's all.
Thanks, Rita.
So you're doing it on November 1st? Oh, November 9th. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay, November 1st is like the official date.
Okay. I know, thank you.
Lopez.
I'm sorry, I can hear, where was it?
The event,
Yeah.
it's in the EMU.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, I didn't hear.
So, I'm wonders the transfer from grade. So, patient should margins of the 8I. And in years from consistent to
Motion made by movement, second year. Peters.
Aye.
Lopez. Aye. Sean. Vote. Bob.
Aye.
Aye. Here. Correct. Fisher.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Ramirez, Canal.
Aye.
Dr. Raja. Aye. Wu.
Aye.
Esbet.
Aye.
Fontaine.
Aye.
Sproul.
Aye.
Helen.
Aye.
Ludeman.
Aye.
Duchamp.
Aye.
Here.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks, man. Do we have anyone here today from the Minority Association for Pre-Medical Students?
Hello, everyone. My name is Al. I'm sorry. The Minority Association for Medical Students. I've always known as MAUS. I'm so about meetings on Thursday. So the Minority Association for Medical Students is an organization that aims to represent government basis students. A group that if you see what students things from about and the opportunity for stories from person helps work to address so our first is also this. Working with the same $800 with volunteer shirts.
So we can do that. Just the first question, do you know how much it is per shirt?
I think around $35 to $40 for sure.
To put a motion on the table.
Yeah, clarifying question. So we're just gonna be doing these one by one then? Cause isn't there 3 of them on the docket?
There is three.
Okay.
Do you want to do one more? I move to authorize spending from surplus to the Minority Association for Pre-Medical Students, OS number OS 2075. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And the amount of $800 to 51 item.
Motion made by Moreno, seconded Lopez, all in favor?
Let's use a surplus request for a person clinic that we're having, we're requesting I think around $300. My name is on because I can't pull it up, but for kids and stethoscopes. Yeah. They're not some things. And I think around 2 for sure that's other than their experience of learning competency.
But then there's so that's
Do you wanna yield?
Oh,
So this finance room is that it's usually the funds number that they're asking for, they put and then it will just go to the social we 400, but I do believe that you're asking 400 or 300 for the blood pressure quick event.
we're asking for
400, okay, so we would do 400 and it would all just go to that map social events. Anyways.
Sorry, I was just a little confused on the engage. Is there a third request or do you have third requests? What is the
I'm just so confused.
We just haven't heard.
Yeah, I appreciate it, especially because this one and the next one are both the same line item.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sorry, I don't know this. So the purpose is for sessions for us to represent, so we have a volunteers in medicine event to I just have just
Right, we're gonna call them already.
Yeah, my question was just on the last request. I guess I just don't know, are these not supplies that the school is able to like provide, like blood pressure cuffs and stuff? Or am I misunderstanding?
like creating if we can like have
Sorry, like borrowing, I guess, like the school supplies, like are these things that like your club needs to hold the event? Is there not like, I don't know, does that make sense?
Are you asking if the university like has the supplies?
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
requesting? Like the blood pressure cuffs, like, do you know if there's a place on campus where like you could borrow for the university?
I'll provide all of this one.
Okay.
That's not.
I think I said permitted. I'm sorry, was that it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, to add on to that, are these blood pressure cuffs gonna be used multiple times, or is it just for this event?
Multiple times.
Okay, gotcha. And then my second question was about the $350 for your sweatshirts. How many volunteers do you anticipate you'll have, and are those assigned for?
It's, we said 10,
10 volunteers.
yes.
I yield.
I was just wondering, have you guys contacted the human physiology department asking about blood pressure cuffs, just because I don't know. I'm a biz major.
Oh.
And I mean, my various like classes like phys lab and bio 212. I think they have like a good amount of blood pressure cuffs. However, I don't know like if they lend them out to students, but I do know they have a lot.
I definitely that's, I know in previous years, we've had a connection personally that would lend us them. So we, that's the local president and now we don't have them anymore, so we don't have blood pressure.
Open.
My question might more be for Tara. I'm just wondering about like the per person gift with apparel. Right, so how, like, are they the same volunteers getting a sweatshirt and a t-shirt, and then are they in excess?
It's $2 per person per year.
So, my question is, how does that work?
Before they put in the request, or before anybody puts in a request to buy items, to before anybody puts in the request to buy items, to give them out like shirts and whatnot, since we will ask the board of the case 96 number now, is we're going up, yeah, it's crazy. I making numbers before they purchase with.
And then once they have those student ID numbers, then they're able to make the purchase request and then give those items out.
Okay, so.
I'd like to say something, sorry. Either for the shirts, we give them and then they return them.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's-
gotcha.
I like your thought process.
Okay, great. I said. What did I say?
You said.
I
was gonna make the thing, I was.
Okay.
Someone has a question.
Mohammed?
Oh, my question not answered, but I think it would be a good investment for the blood pressure cuffs if you just gave them that money and they can keep it around for many years when they need it.
All right. Like it. All right. Ramirez Pineda?
I have a kind of clarifying question, anybody, yeah. So then it was $350 for the social, for the maps like event. And then it was 400 for the same event, but 350 was gonna be used for sweaters, or hoodies.
No, these are two different events.
Okay, just
Sorry,
because, yeah, sorry, because looking at the engage like form, it's, like the clarified, like the $400 one is maps, social event. And then the 350, which from your presentation, I believe it was for the hoodies, is also maps social event, so I just wanted to like.
Oh, yeah, there's, we're gonna have a blood pressure event, and then
Okay.
we're gonna have a blood pressure event.
Okay. So then for the apparel, is it like, can they, sorry, again, I just don't know this, like, can they use like money from that, like?
The same line
that
item.
for that? Okay, perfect. Sorry, that was just my question.
Mohammed?
In the amount of $8.
Can I share how it's weights notion?
The new line item is supposed to be. Lorena.
I move to authorize spending from surplus to Group Minority Association for Medical Students, OS number OS 207I, in the amount of $40 to existing line item MAP social events and $350 to existing line item MAP social events for a grand total of $750.
Motion made by. I got a second move. All in favor? Other? Thank you so much. All right, okay. Do we have anyone today here for meetings for the
Forbidden Fruit is a club that's charity performances of the movie about picture show. Next show is tomorrow in the evening, all of you guys want to come to that. In order to do this show, you have to buy a film license to be able to show the movie in a public space, which would get sued, I think. Have enough to cover expenses, so that's why we're requesting surplus for $390 to buy film licenses for a show this Saturday.
Fisher, then Ramirez.
Thanks for coming. I went to the show last year. It was really good. I think that you guys like switch up the casts and stuff. And you said the show's tomorrow.
Yeah, show that's a good argument.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to make the motion for this if no one has any further discussion.
I was gonna make the motion too, so you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I move to authorize spending from surplus to Goop Eugene's Forbidden Fruit X 166I in the amount of $390 to movie licenses fall.
Second.
Made by Fisher, seconded Withers, all in favor? Opposed? Great. I find this thank you.
I just want to make sure everyone's using the mic so that people on the Zoom can hear.
Madam Vice President, you ready for your updates?
Yes, I am. Perfect, okay, so special message from regarding ASUO events. So if any of you ever played an ASUO event, or if you have one under the works, it is of the utmost importance that you key and run it. Because you can have to engagement and they do a whole process of calls and everything like that. So that's just a heads up for the future. He also, I asked him to send me a headset in case you guys don't know what he looks like. He's gonna see this one and I'll just know what it looks like, but I thought this is a great photo of him he wanted to share. So okay, I'll do that after I talk. Okay, anyway. And also for next training we have next Tuesday. 2 months of see Justin and Avery working on next if you all don't know what that is, it's a really cool event where everyone meets up and they will walk throughout campus, coordinate members of the UO community, and you kind of flag faces on campus that you think you need a little bit more lighting or unsafer students. So it's a cool survey to do, and that'll be taking place on November 13th. I'll have more details about that as the date approaches. Also, we're working on the comms video, our voter registration, broadcast initiative. So about when the leader uses his know how to create that policy campus. Yeah, that's all.
Correct. Okay, we are now getting on finance committee reports here.
That's 30 p.m. And it's what tells us so why not very nice. And we talked about I'm sure this direction is to and that's that's not like it's what's to budgets inside of and this organizations and positions with faculty. there's one.
So let's still do, you know, what we need to do, let's do what is of a student possible that from the student. It's from and for from folks that
Technically the third floor, but EMU rules,
let's go the and that's what we're gonna be doing and get ready for the next process. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks. So, shall I check out a DFC met from 8 to 10?
8 to 10 a.m. on Monday. And we went over benchmarks one by one. And we had a 2% increase on DFC, and after discussing each one, we ended up at a 4.8% increase, which is significantly less, and that is a result of 7 of the 15 departments not changing their budget as much as they requested. But of course, those discussions will be ongoing, and we are going to be voting again on this because there was a miscalculation. But yes, I extend my invitation again to hang out with us at 8 p.m. on Monday. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the update is gonna be next week for 5. Some of the public's been like, being Senate. But if you want to join, let one of us know. I think before we jump into this report, we can recess for 5 minutes. We can, so we'll be back at 8:25.
Whoever is in charge of the screen, just load up for those of us.
Love the screen. I love this good screen
This is the last time you did this one? Okay.
So like.
I just would have found it like
Yeah.
So much to see, actually, yeah. Yeah, it's all fairly. Yeah, so it was celebration, one's like. And then we did it like. So I was, so what they're probably like, yeah, it was really. He did. Every week. So like at the second. Yeah, we're all learning together. And hopefully, you know, this exercise.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's like, conversation. I do this. I do this. I mean,
Just making it.
Yeah,
Is it easier if I just start sharing this? Okay, I'll send this.
Like what Tilly was trying to say. I can always change like, if that's, no, we just, what's your phone look
Okay.
Everybody's talking about me. Yes.
That was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. You're not going. We're gonna have to be first area of the first. So there's, then I have all of our. Oh, you differ. Which one? Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Senator. Speak up to the left, so if you speak now, and speak in the next and speak for great. Okay. We are gonna get the presentation by one of the members of the Surplus Accessibility Committee, Ducharme, so he can do it from him, and then the members that can. All right. Oh, okay, so after the presentation, we can. Ducharme, if you can take your presentation there on the screen.
Hello. I couldn't quite tell if you wanted me to share, but I cannot share.
Oh, we do have it on the screen here.
You do have it on the screen? Okay. Slide one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. It's been quite hard to hear what's going on in this meeting, and Joanne and I are trying our best. But I'm here to talk about some data that I shared with the Surplus Accessibility Committee and a proposal that is, has not been voted on, has not been agreed to. Is just simply something that I had come up with that I wanted to share. And then afterwards, Senator Withers will present some nice homework for everyone as we try to figure out what we all feel is the best way to spend our surplus. Could the slide please be advanced? So basically what I wanted to present was the state of the surplus and in the historical context. So what I've done is I've gone back to the 2023 and 2024 and past iFund memoranda on surplus and overrealized balances, where it tells us how large surplus was at the end of the fiscal year. And then adjusted each of those to meet the most recent numbers, right? So even though these are listed across the years, every dollar here is the dollar in your the value of the dollar in your pocket. And the real obvious big difference here is that prior to 2020, up to and including 2020, the average value of surplus was significantly smaller than the one we are blessed with right now. And so the pre-pandemic average was about $150,000, which is just a lot more constraining than we've had to deal with. Could you please go to the next slide? So on this slide, I've actually grabbed the total value of expenditures that we've okayed, not including this meeting, but of all the meetings we've had so far, which is actually above all but one historical value of surplus prior to the pandemic. So I just think this really helps clarify how we do have a lot of resources at our fingertips, and this is this very large differential is where I come from is okay, this is a special thing, and we should do something larger with this. On the next slide, I am going to this is my general idea, which is that we should basically have two components and we should lock them away from each other, right? We are going to have this, we're going to do our normal, the way we've been having surplus, the way we want to support student orgs, departments, not really contracts, but people come to us and say, hey, I need help, I would like some money. And we say, okay, here's, after some review, here's the surplus funds. And then a second bit would be this investment piece. On the next slide, what I'm saying here by a time locked, sorry, on slide 6 or slide 5 instead of slide 6. Thank you. So what I'm proposing to do here is splitting the surplus that we would be spending on, that would be like a normal free floating surplus, split that into 3 parts, one each for each term. So that, we have a pretty good idea as we're going in of how much money we should be distributing in a given term. And I think with unallocated reserve, we have a really good idea of okay, we have X number of organizations that need to be accessing this over the course of the year, which means and so that gives us a really good way of judging our financial decisions. And so by looking at and breaking the surplus into 3 pieces, which are for individual terms, I think we would have a much better idea of how to time and dole out this money in a responsible way. And this kind of precedent would be Senate Rule 15.7, which is just for the Senate surplus, right? The summer term was a fourth of the year. So summer Senate wasn't allowed to allocate over a quarter of that money during that quarter of the year. And then I have some details for, how we can do this in a way that will, be legislatively, will accommodate us legislatively. On the next slide, I actually start putting numbers to this idea. So, obviously I got a lot of feedback on this idea of how should we invest this money. And, a lot of you really want to support student orgs, which is a great idea, right? And so I thought one way that would be great to do this would be a PFC support fund, where we are investing some significant portion of surplus. We lock it away. It would be effectively spent, and then it would gain money over time, and the proceeds would be dispersed to the PFC as a new revenue stream for their overall budget, so that in perpetuity, their budget is 1% larger. And then I've also, after accounting for the ADA audit, I've split the remaining amount of surplus into equal spring, fall, and winter terms. But the fall term has been adjusted for the fact that we're partway through it. I have just been going and not looking at the Zoom, so if there's any questions, I should probably stop and ask before I go to the last slide. Okay, and then on my last slide, I just was looking into details onto how we would actually execute this, right? The goal is to have this money sit somewhere where it's accumulating value. My first thought was the UO Foundation, because that's just I don't know, that's kind of a natural spot for donations or for money to sit. There's a university policy that they don't want donations going to, they don't want university revenue going to the foundation. We probably could try to fight that, but that'd be a huge uphill battle. So the other vehicles would be just a high yield savings account. And then the separate idea of the school does invest money in the state treasury, and the state treasury does hold a good amount of funds. And theoretically, the school is allowed to send any money it wants to up to state and federal law, up to the public university fund to be invested. So I've asked for like legal backing for this to double check that this would be okay. But this is how I've envisioned, giving this long, like truly in perpetuity support to PFC. Of course, these last 3 slides has been, I want to this is just me, I've put some thought behind this, but it is not an official thing in the committee. But for an official part of the committee and something that we're really interested to hear your thoughts on, I will turn it over to Senator Withers.
I was caught up with my first Krispy treat. Hi, everybody. We met on Friday, and we talked about a few things, including what Senator Ducharme just presented. And something I mentioned earlier in this meeting was kind of a limit for. Is this my thing?
I'll see if I can fix
it. Okay, oh, I think it's just the speakers. I'll give this back to you. We're talking about a limit of how much money we want to do to get some unallocated reserves, but because we did if the rules maybe the timelines for that. And since we have the limit to with unallocated reserves, that we could, divide and unallocated reserve. It's sort of the software where we have the but I think the number we had was $780. Yeah, so it's not like a big number, but I think we talked about whatever we need. Because if everyone could so kind of like way better, than 0 goals. Roughly less than that now after today's photo. So you get the right? I'm gonna let that point. And then I think the things in services that really good. I think it's so these pages on the difference. It's a common concept. Your teams and it's awesome. Yeah, I would go to the questions about everything. And I put it to the presentation and percentage of surplus. Yes, so based on what I will talk to you then you offer different numbers. That's how accessibility
Yeah, I just wanted um, some people type what's up with the plan. If people can have lots of that, so that's I would encourage you to sort of the problem is it's all about sort of like maybe it's sort of this development and allowance that would help for the second half issue surplus and down interest rates. So that with these big events come in, be a good idea that would help separate. Sounds like how you could contend that. But like I said, I love to talk about folks from with it. So that we would please. We also take to support services to the
Certainly is.
If you want,
And just to highlight something else, also a little bit in our meeting is that like one of our biggest jobs is to CBI. And so how we go into this year with like financial priorities is really important, especially when you see a bunch of conferences and stuff come in. So we know that what the have surplus students time here. So yeah, that means that we have podcast speakers. Then experiment.
okay, yeah, I think regarding the surplus, I definitely have a few things I would like to add. Especially with Malachi last year, and we did have a meeting about the priorities for surplus, so. For me, I think it's really good that y'all are doing this, it's super important, because that really helped me start off my year as the senator. When we talked about our goals and our like priorities, and that kind of framework definitely helps center the decisions that I made. However, I would also like to add what a really good point someone had made to me that year, I think it was Stan Youngin. He talked about how a student pays the odd fee each term. The circle that we have has been so limited, and it's almost such an unstandard to have. This from students from 5 years ago that I made, 6 years ago. And I think it's going to serve them for 1 year. And for Thomas, even most difficult for us to have this much money in an account for students who have paid it years before, because they're never going to see the benefit of it after they graduated. And so I'm definitely set really high spending last year, because this money is really for the who have paid it. And so I'm just kind of having a conservative, but it's not the whole thing. But I was sharing because it's some they thought was something that was great, and opposed like approaching line. I want you all to just feel as informed and empowered in your own decision as possible. And I look at that because in my opinion, I think it's really difficult for us to have this amount of money. I think for 4 companies like the tens of thousands, I was gonna I was like, how would I spend last year, especially because we don't care what's going on, and again, that's in hundreds of thousands. We were able to spend hundreds of thousands last year, and we still got back up to 1 million. We were under 1 million last year, and it came back up to that. So then I was some reasons I feel like conservative spending and trying to retain money. It's not our money to retain, which makes you think about how to keep it in the bank still. I think it's a little problematic, and I disagree with it.
So, and then
Yeah, so I think I'm going to just like you just wrapped up and answer the like, how do we go like what we go and spend that more than the not to retain. So it made sense that makes sense. How do you do with the representation that there's what my purpose. So it's so I wonder if I don't expect questions for this work on the subject. what would be what would be that would be a to spend not in that purpose request. So we could like go into those specific maybe because in we didn't have any splits specific guidelines that we set.
I just wanted to say, I really appreciate your presentation. I do know that I personally can get behind most of the stuff like in the presentation, like we talked about as maybe we were briefed on this before. But I would say, I would say this is exactly the reflection of how the whole community is. I'll organize it here.
Yeah, that's so yeah, I guess except the fact that we use all of things about to sure to sort of and with that it would be great to all of us to just kind of end up with the insurance philosophy. So that's like we need to kind of develop agreement, not just what is I would like we can kind of go to talk with how to make those like what the kind of things that should be and what the two caps. Like the purpose of just the survey, but but you know, but we can think of it. I'm just going to go to because I told you guys, but explain. So I would something like that, but yeah, just whenever I don't know, it's like the whole year, it's still like they're gonna put out. I would allocated, but typically this is not the case. It would be new to the entire year. Times, but I can't say that it's like the teacher also together and it's not the of them. So you something that you can really think about it.
Yeah, I have a question for people who weren't able to like last year or been in April before. Just looking at some of the questions on the survey. I was just wondering like, you know, what the like guidelines or like, you know, breakdowns that you guys included like previously were, like what the precedent for that might have looked like. If anybody can answer that, because I'm curious.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little. I also know some people here can, we have a report with some different topics in which people said like this would be our top priority, and then we made a list of them, we were ranking of them. So include conferences and experimental things for student orders, in one-time purchases, so we can put a huge amount of money into one thing that would be here for years and years and years. And if we wanted to, you know, lean more towards sustainability or something initiatives, you do anything else? Oh, sorry, you just need.
Yeah, I was gonna say, two of the term similar to the ones that you all will hopefully got to. We established a list of financial priorities, sort of what I was talking about, how we were going to, what we were doing for what events we wanted, or, you know, items we wanted to fund for orgs. And that was very helpful guidance, that we did. In fact, was it helpful? If I share this with you about just to show them things.
Yes.
stand by, I'm gonna show you what they call. Actually, yeah, but. That way the folks on Zoom can see it. But this is sort of. There we go. So this outline. This outline sort of one-time spending, how we do it. Section 2 is about large spending from ASUO. And it also explains that we share those reports too, the part of this report is. And then sort of how we define it. And so something go through the consent survey, so we can try and extend when we approve or don't approve. Stuff reports they know, and this is uniform. We apply this to every single request that comes through. That we would be
Thank you. Yeah, could you maybe like put the chat just so that we can reference it? Thank you for answering my question, I feel.
Forget the what the PFT so what you do to it would be that was in lots we haven't spent a lot of time, but there was a little bit of this online answers. But so you have what seems to be I do think that we're that was how to answer should be we present we can keep everyone's we can keep that separately it's like repeatedly every couple of people have history of this. You expect me to have this minutes split class. What did you have to do? Let's say it's good. Just I don't know if it's that is your specific question. I would two things before I sort of try to keep this going. I appreciate this is a great discussion coming. I think before we talk about the audit anymore, you know, it's been a big part of this presentation, big part of the conversation. Yeah, it's not a percentage. You don't figure it out. We don't understand. And so before we start, I appreciate what you're saying, but I think we're focusing a lot before it's even been brought. And Andrew, I don't know if you want to speak to this more. We're still waiting for guidance, Becky and the general counsel, that the IFE generally cannot be listed for the issue. And so, Andrew, you know, Becky spoke about this more. But I just want to put that out there in terms of like that's things. Next is vote. That.
Like kind of shuts down what I was going to say. I speak in favor of at least sort of like fund or account that brings back some deals. We DP statement like it doesn't go but just be saving money and be able to consider we are in it, but we can't just go back and give them that money. They're no longer here. I would see that and see as an opportunity to create some fund to continue having service fund because one of the better things, you know, like funds that they're paying for to be I don't know if it's not going back to them. I don't sure it's to be gone about a philosophy. And now we have an opportunity to use this actual money that we keep about the other students to continue
finding them. Well, also, you spend as much as you can, it's certainly over now, but to the point where we could have, where we would be waiting like a surplus and we students usually waited with that everything that is we can use that and continue having a surplus. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
I was trying to echoing Senator Bo said that I completely understand that. Unfortunately, a lot of people's IDs were not put to use, and that was so unfortunate. However, yeah, we can't go back. So I think that we should use this as a opportunity. Try not to be spend all of it because yeah, sorry, those are very insights. I would say that there's the audit discussion that we went to the table several times, but really well, so I'm not going to read. Open kids, I do enjoy all the good ways. I really don't want us to spend so much that is off the table for the years to come. However, I do keep in mind that historically we get hundreds of thousands of dollars back in carry forward. And it's not that I like to plan for this because that is a marker sometimes of budgeting and efficiency, but that's something we keep in mind because a lot of people have that mentality last year, like we don't want to spend all of it, we want to spend all of it, and then we're back over. And so that's something that I'm considering as well.
I'm going to yield to ASUO's chief of strategy. If you want to come up to that, yeah, speak a little bit to the.
Yeah, so good evening, y'all. Probably one pigeon. The discussion about the accessibility of it. This was not a like finalized request from staff or any third class at this time. We have not even finalized this with CPFM. We haven't finalized this with the campus planning committee. This is very much still in the works, and I just want to say that like it's not particularly like helpful or productive to have a lot of like speculation about it going on. And that like we were about everything and like probably like not speaking about it until there was something final, but we wanted to bring it to academic committee a couple weeks ago in good faith with the idea that like we just want Senate and academic committee and everything to know like what's going on with our work regarding basic needs and accessibility generally. It's like this wasn't the only thing we talked about. We also talked about starting a physical accessibility committee, etc. And so I just want to be very clear that like there hasn't been like no finalized number, no formal recommendation, no formal request. So just please note that. Thank you.
I'll just answer. I have 3 pigeons for me, but I thought like make sure that there's mutual respect of like exact opposites because people put so much time and effort into this and to talk about that without being present, without them explaining the function that they have put into it and without explaining what the research, why they're doing so much. I want to make sure that we have attention, they have a chance to talk about it, and we have a chance to look at what they're doing that we're doing. And so it's important to have a quick discussion in this room because they have so much time and effort. And it's not to say they have to because that's on time about it, it's to respect the time and make sure that they're here to talk about it as well. Time. And again, a really good conversation, and it just made me realize that if the producers of campus, they should be here to talk about themselves.
I mean, it's going to be given here, then I'm gonna after Nagaraj, I'm going to wait 2 minutes because we still have somebody on the agenda.
Yes, it's really good to put these there with this on and this benefit between us. And then I just want to highlight a few things from the POC meeting where we talked about it. There were a few videos that POC members brought up, and I think those are especially important here. And I'm just We didn't have injuries with the students. It's what the so didn't have all of the information. So this really was not always hard to balance plus and I think because of those let's see that chart, let's see budget. Because it was tied with the agencies and ideas and we're still it's their budget on supports student ordinance financially the major process. And then it's on the especially financially just with university and even if the parents aren't going to know subject when we can't access our funds and they need their funds because workers are no decisions. And they support the students that is limited, especially for education. And kind of always good with the answers
You said that we're not allowed to. What else? So I'm just confused with how we supposed to, like if like in the slides that Andrew showed, like those want to grow, like I'm confused how does that work? And you can speak to that.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yes, this is the first.
Okay, great.
I'm hearing in like 20 minutes.
Subu's question is, if the IFE cannot be donated or gifted or invested, how is, oh, it's coming from my computer now. How is the money supposed to grow in like an account that you sort of mentioned before?
Yeah, that I have not been given an actual policy or like written out explanation of how this is impossible. Like there is a policy that you cannot put university revenues in the UO Foundation, but I have not seen any documentation or law or UO policy that backs up that this can't happen. I mean, I know that Talik, you raised this question with the general counsel, but like this was a distinct avenue that I proposed with the public university fund. And that is an avenue that university funds in the same way that are collected in the same way the IFE is collected, is invested. So I think it's a question that's still up in the air and still live.
Thank you, Andrew. So all I can tell you now, we're still waiting on guidance from Becky, and then we'll call on Dr. Schwartz in a second. But we're still waiting for guidance from Becky. I was told by the vice president of the university's general counsel that you cannot invest in mortality. That's what Becky also said. But Senator Sharm raised a different point through this public university. Dr. Schwartz, do you have anything to?
Many moons ago, I participated in all of the tuition and fee advisory board meetings. And I'm curious that what's it called? The Securities and Investments Club has not been brought up. Like there was a group of students on this campus whose job it is to help manage part of the endowment. And there's also some weird legal stuff that they're with. So I would be very curious before we, take Kevin Reed at his word, to, talk with some of the, I am a big believer in student funds should be directed by students. There's a student club that they love digging into this and they work with somehow investing student funds some way, somehow. So that's my comment.
That's a good point. You're surplus successful. Consider providing members to. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I consider it a kind of answer your question.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, just like I'm just a bit confused. I haven't been an ASUO sure, but not at all. But surplus, what is the point of surplus? Like it's just to like we have access to money, right? Like, are we trying to grow? Like, are we trying to just like make more surplus out of surplus? Is that what it is, or like investing, like reinvest? I'm confused.
That's the idea for the model of investing is making more to keep the NHE whenever we have to raise it.
Yeah, I knew we're supposed to. What's the whole thing was to use up surplus, like we're giving it back to. Okay,
I think Senator Sharm's idea is to invest it so we make more, so we don't have to raise it. I believe that's what it is.
So we have to raise that out.
I think so. I think
okay.
Andrew, you can. Anyway, or is that sorry?
Yeah, I'm just trying to clarify. Yeah. Anyways.
Great. Anyways. Okay, great. We can move on to the next agenda item. Andrew, thank you for your presentation. And please fill out that QR code so the committee can convene. I'm going to make the QR code due Monday at midnight. Motion made by Cole, seconded Esbeck, all in favor. Opposed, other, great, thank you, Senator. Next item on the agenda, stipend position, David. Thanks for holding in there for us. I'm gonna let VP Garrity sort of introduce what this is and what it means.
Okay, so we have three PSC stipend change votes today, because I remember the title of that super long form. One is the elections board, one is the PULSA, and one is MAPS. And David, I'm gonna have you speak to more elections board, because I think that you are definitely going to be better at it. But if you remember last week, a few weeks ago, we requested to change stipends for, I forgot which student ward, but some student ward. I think it was elections board, actually.
Yeah, it
Now
was yes.
we requested to extend stipends for elections board, and this is just that same process. So David, if you want to take it away.
Okay, can you hear me? Cool. So the pigeon question. I'm just convinced that I think I'm a pigeon whisperer or something, so I don't know if I'd ever even accuse anyone of playing.
Wow.
Anyways, so yeah, I'm asking to extend the stipend for 2 years. for 2 months. So pay for a commissioner right now is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe $300 a month. So I'm asking for 2 months of two $300 stipends, which comes out to $1,200 for the 2 months. And there's 2 specific roles that I wanted to serve. So if you remember during my appointment, 2 big things that I wanted to work on this year was advertising the election better, not necessarily even just to people voting, but to actual potential candidates so that we can increase how many people run. And I want to revise the rules to make them more streamlined and reduce overall what we're doing and kind of the scope of the board. So keeping that in mind, first on advertising, I want to start advertising now. I've already reached out to the members of exec to start that process, and I want to have, workshops and whatnot started as soon as November. Because I think the earlier you can start people being aware of what it takes to run, what running is and what they can actually do, you're actually increasing the chances of people doing and running it. So I am not a very big, I'm a STEM major, so I'm not huge into media relations, and I understand that I have the support of ASUO exec, but it would be nice to have someone with me to do that process that is, maybe a marketing major, maybe not, or has some type of experience. So I'm going to have someone now so that they can facilitate that process. And then, as you guys know, we probably have a special election, and I would like to have all the rules and basically all the processes streamlined and done that part of the election, like be ready for the special election so that we can test it, gather input and see how it actually works. So we're not testing new stuff on the general election that has a lot higher stakes. So that's why I'm asking to extend one more stipend for someone with legal background to help me rewrite the rules. And because the special election is roughly 2 months earlier than the general, that's what I'm asking to extend.
Oh, okay. David, thanks so much for everything, for being here, for being a pigeon whisperer, man of many hats. So I just dropped, I think David highlighted something incredibly important, is the special election. I just dropped the resolution I'd been working on over the past, actually I did it in one class yesterday, but that I've been working on. And so if we pass this next week, the special election should take place week 4 of winter term. And so it's incredibly important David has a team ready, locked and loaded to be able to carry out the duties that the board will need to do. So does anybody have any questions? What's the motion for this?
How did we do this last time, guys? I move to approve the 2024-2025 stipend position change request form for for the elections board.
Motion made by Garrity. Wait.
Okay, sure, I made the motion.
Seconded Withers. This seems like it should be a roll call vote. Peters.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Mohammed. Vo.
Aye.
Potter.
Aye.
Backman. Pinheiro. Moreno. Fisher. Withers.
Aye.
Ramirez Pineda.
Aye.
Nagarajan.
Aye.
Wu. Come on, Joanne. Wu. Now, hold on, I might have to do this.
She said I in the chat.
Oh, is that I from you too, Andrew?
I from me and I from Joanne.
Awesome. Okay. I say Esbeck already? Esbeck? Page, sorry. Pagtaloon? Pagtalunan? Scrum. Dylan.
Aye.
Ludwig. Cole.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
And I say aye as well.
We did it.
Great. Thank you, David. Have a good night. Okay. It's almost my bedtime. Okay. All right. Okay. Are we doing anybody else today?
I actually don't know. I'm still trying to.
Please hold.
Okay. I think that we have to do it. I think that we have to. I'm not clear, so I'm just covering all of my bases.
Sure, sure.
And then I'll just double check with all of this someday, when my schedule clears up. So, PFC also voted on a PALSA and MAP stipend change positions. I'm not sure if we have to do this, but we're just gonna do it because stipend change requests are not entirely clear in any of our governance documents, so that's cool. Anyway, Apulsa wants to move from tier 3, it's tier 3 wants to move from option 3 to option 4. Quick rundown, option 3, there's 3 co-directors, each receiving $260 a month. Option 4 is splitting everything evenly among 5 co-directors from them. And so every single month, that's $780 per month, and then they would just divide that evenly among the 5 of them. So their positions are 2 co-directors, 1 treasurer, 2 media chairs. Anyway, I guess I'll just make the motion again. Okay. I move to approve the 2024-2025 stipend position change request form for Apulsa.
Seconded Peters.
Motion made by Garrity, seconded Peters. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Actually, you know what? All in favor? Opposed? Other? Great.
3rd time's the charm. Okay, so Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students want to do the same thing. They're tier 3, they're option 3 currently. Want to so right now they have 3 co-director positions, each receiving $260 per month. Option 4, they want to split it evenly among 7 general leadership positions. Again, virtually same thing as Apulsa. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make the motion. I move to approve 2024-2025 stipend position change request form for Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students.
Seconded Peters.
Motion made by Gary, seconded Lopez, all in favor. Opposed? Other? Great, thank you. This stipend form seems like to be more of that famous ASUO transparency everyone's talking about.
Well, we only have 2 weeks of it left, so.
Great, okay. What are we on now for the agenda?
Executive reports.
Oh, okay. Chair Esbeck, take it away.
Gonna keep it short and sweet. We met today at 5:36, well, 6:10. Everyone's welcome to join if you want another meeting. We're working on reaching out to our actual sub tags and our ASUO Senate tags. We're very excited to have filled since 17. Yeah. Yeah,
Alrighty, how about Potter?
Just please make sure you're actually meeting full hours of your office hours and signing in and out, because some people only short 5 minutes and that's on good.
All right. You got anything? Okay. VP Garrity.
So quick update from something last year is, the Protect the Powwow resolution is going to be done and finished next month for shout out to Marisol too, just in time for Native American Heritage Month. We like to stay on brand.
Awesome. Okay. Now my updates. Question of the day, student org meeting soon. Oh, next week it's going to be a long Senate meeting. I know. We have budget hearings, so we're going to hear from PFC, DFC, and CFC how they got to their benchmarks, and then Senate gets to vote on them. I'm really throwing around gets to lightly. Also, so there's been a lot of talk, and I'm really serious about this, about me wearing a Halloween costume for next week. But hold on, wait, hold on, please. We also next week will be doing pictures before Senate. Headshot, we're going to do headshots and then a Senate photo.
Wait, so we take our picture.
I didn't recognize you. Yes, and so in the new ASUO website that I've been really excited about, we're gonna have like pictures and it's gonna say Senator Scrow, Senate Seat 18, School of Journalism, and so, right? So no, no, that's what I'm saying. And so I would just be ready for that. I'll send another reminder that pictures are coming. So please be on the lookout for that. Next week, we also have 2 resolutions coming to the floor. One's going to be the human rights resolution that the committee's been working really hard on. And then hopefully next week, y'all will vote to declare the winter special election real. So please take a look at the resolution that I sent, but I will also send it again on Monday night, 48 hours before the Senate meeting. And oh, please go to the student org events. Eleanor told you to send her a picture. If you go to the student org events, that's begun. You gotta go to 3 before this term is over, Ackman.
You have to get like, is it you just put your 9-5 number as whatever?
You just take
No, just like a,
Okay. Okay.
Right.
And then if an org is like, actually, I think I'm gonna answer this myself, but if an org is like tier 2 for this year, but is trying for tier 3, it still counts as tier 2.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Make sure that, 3 different orgs, and try to interact and engage, and, I think I covered everything. Now we just need, please do not pack up until, whoa. Please do not pack up until we're ready to go. We have to approve the minutes from last meeting, so somebody, anyone? Woo! Motion made by Pinheiro, seconded Peters, all in favor. Opposed? Other? Motion made by Withers, seconded Lopez, all in favor. Opposed? Other? Great. Take your name plates and take them to the end to help the clerk. Okay. Same time next week?
I'll see you there, like, the date.
Thank you for that. If you want to wear costumes to the next meeting, you can, but you're also getting your photo taken. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was just confused because I was, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that totally, yeah. I look forward to that, I look forward to reading.
I look forward to it being done.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
It's just been a figment of my imagination.